Senate President Haridopolos, who do you feel, John Villarreal, conservative media, who do you feel won the debate tonight, and who do you think might have maybe lost a little bit of stock within Republican voters?
Well, first of all, the line of the night obviously went to Governor Johnson. That was a heck of a line. I think we all enjoyed that, the lighter moments. I think some people who elevated themselves, and I were clearly Speaker Gingrich has really performed well, I think, in each of the debates, and I think people are giving him more consideration. I think you'd also say Herman Cain is really outstanding in his ability to communicate, and I think also you could say that Rick Santorum really made himself relevant tonight. And the tough news for Governor Perry is that it's tough to be the front runner. I mean, whether it be Governor Romney, Herman Cain, Santorum.
Has Governor Perry disappointed you?
Well, I still want to learn more about Governor Perry. I think he has an outstanding record of jobs, or new jobs in Texas. And I think what would help him is just more specifics. What did he do as governor that helped create those new jobs? But the difficulty he's facing is, and I've been there before, you're the front runner, everybody's attacking you. And I think it's hard to get your positive message out when you're constantly under attack. So I'm still giving him a pass at this point as far as how they're doing. But again, when you're the front runner, you're going to face these type of tough questions.
Are you satisfied with this field, or would you like to see Governor Palin and/or Governor Christie in this race?
Look, I still want to see Jeb Bush in the race. That's what I want to see. I'd be very happy to see him get back in the race. I think each of the people on stage would serve us well as president. I think the real challenge is going to be, how do we become the party of better ideas? That's my focus. And I heard a lot of good ideas tonight, especially with tax policy. And I think that elevates our game, because we can't just be the anti-Obama party. We need to be the party of better ideas. And I heard a lot of good ideas tonight, whether it be on healthcare policy, let alone job creation, which means reforming our tax code.
If I can back up and do a reconstruction of where I came into the conversation at the very beginning. Florida Senate President Mike Haridopolos, when I joined the conversation, you were giving a general rundown, your assessment of comparison between the candidates and their performances. If you could reconstruct that for me.
Sure. I think that Newt Gingrich had a very good night. I think Herman Cain had a good night. I think Rick Santorum made himself very relevant tonight. And of course, Governor Johnson had the line of the night. And from the front runner's perspective, I think that Perry was under constant assault tonight on a variety of issues, and it just shows how tough it is to be the front runner in the race. And the give and take between Perry and Romney is, I think, going to be something we see over the remainder of the debates, because they are clearly out front at this point.
And you see Newt Gingrich coming from behind?
Well, I think that people are going to take a second look at Gingrich because he has performed so well in these debates. And I wouldn't be surprised if you see a small bump in his numbers. I don't think we changed the front runners, but I think that Gingrich really showed off at some skill. And can Herman Cain build on his ability to communicate so well?
Was there any particular point in the conversation tonight where you thought any one of them stumbled the worst?
Well, I think there's a lot of concern in the audience when the whole illegal immigration debate came about. The idea that, how do you handle those type of issues with children going into our school system? Do we want to subsidize people going to the University of Texas, as Governor Romney talked about? That's where I felt the issue really got interesting, and that's where I thought Santorum really separated himself.
Thank you very much.
Thank you. Good to see you all.
Do you feel that Florida is going to be the critical state, both in the primary and/or the general election?
Yes, yes, and yes. And that was our goal. Marco Rubio and I, along with Speaker Cannon and Governor Scott, have worked very hard to make Florida very relevant. And we're excited about being one of the early primary states. I think that's a real bonus for us. And I think that by being that early primary state and all the attention that's been paid, that's great for Florida, because we want to have a say in who the nominee is. And most importantly, I think if you win Florida, whether it be Barack Obama or a Republican nominee, you're going to be the next president of the United States.
Who do you think is resonating in Florida right now, according to your vibe, either polls or whatever?
Well, no one really had a bad night tonight. All I would say is I thought Gingrich and I thought Cain, I think Santorum separated himself a bit tonight. They're all saying the right things, but it is tough to be the front runner.
Now, how negative do you think that this general election campaign is going to be? Some people have speculated that President Obama can't run on his record, and therefore he's going to try to make this into a quote-unquote choice election and maybe go negative on the Republican primary nominee. Do you feel like that's going to happen, and how does the Republican nominee counter that?
Well, I think absolutely he's going to go negative. I mean, what's he really going to run on? And so that being the case, how do you react? And so my guess is that he's going to go very negative. And if you really look back at his ads from 2008, he wasn't exactly Mr. Positive either. So I think you're going to see a really negative campaign from day one from the Obama campaign, because they really don't have much to run on.
Mike Haridopolos, president of the Florida Senate. Thank you so much.
Thank you, guys. See you.